What happens when she realizes you've lost interest? When a woman realizes you've lost interest, the reaction is rarely what you'd expect. It's not just a simple shrug or a fleeting moment of surprise. Instead, it's a complex, multi-layered process that can completely flip the dynamic of your relationship. Her response is more intense, more revealing. And if you understand what's happening, it can give you a powerful edge you never knew you had. Let's break down exactly what happens, step by step, so you can recognize the signs, understand her mindset, and use this knowledge to your advantage. 1. The initial shock. Losing control. The first thing that happens is a jolted, genuine shock. Up until now, she may have felt secure, even complacent, in the knowledge that you were invested, emotionally available, and perhaps even a little predictable. She knew where she stood with you. She knew you'd answer her texts, make plans, and show up when she needed you. That certainty was comforting. But when you pull back, when your interest fades and your energy shifts elsewhere, it's like pulling the rug out from under her. Suddenly, the dynamic she thought she controlled is gone. The certainty she relied on has vanished. She's left with questions. What changed? Did I do something wrong? Was there a sign I missed? This isn't just confusion, it's a loss of control. And for many people, especially those used to being in the driver's seat, that loss is deeply unsettling. It's not just about you. It's about her sense of self, her confidence, and her ability to read and influence the people around her. Let her sit with it. Here's where most people make a mistake. They rush to fill the silence, to explain themselves, or to reassure her. Don't. Let her sit with the shock. Let her feel the discomfort. It's in this space that she starts to reevaluate not just you, but herself and her own behavior. She'll replay conversations, analyze your actions, and wonder where things went off track. This is the beginning of a powerful shift in the relationship dynamic, too. The need to reclaim validation. Validation is the lifeblood of any relationship. When someone feels seen, valued, and important, they're happy. When that validation disappears, it creates a void, a psychological itch that demands to be scratched. When she senses your interest slipping away, her instinct is to reclaim that validation. She wants to know she still matters, that she still has influence over you. This isn't just about affection. It's about power and control. How she tries to get it back, you'll notice subtle changes in her behavior. She might start reaching out more, sending texts that seem casual, but are really just tests. Hey, how have you been? Or I saw something that reminded me of you. These aren't random. They're calculated attempts to gauge your emotional state and see if you'll engage. If you don't respond the way she hopes, her efforts might escalate. She could try to provoke a reaction by mentioning other people, acting indifferent, or even posting things on social media designed to get your attention. But remember, this isn't true indifference. It's a test. She's trying to see if she can still affect you. Don't give in too quickly. The critical mistake here is to interpret her renewed attention as genuine interest and immediately revert to old patterns, chasing, over-explaining, or trying to win her back. The real power lies in holding your ground. Stay composed and slightly detached. This forces her to work harder to understand you. And it makes her realize you're not the same person she thought she had figured out. 3. Curiosity takes over once the initial shock fades and her attempts to reclaim validation don't get the results she wants. Curiosity sets in. This isn't just idle curiosity. It's a deep, almost obsessive need to understand what happened. She becomes a detective. She'll start replaying your past interactions, analyzing every detail for clues. Did she miss something? Was there a moment when things changed? She might even ask her friends for advice, trying to piece together a narrative that explains your behavior. This curiosity isn't just about you, it's about her. She wants to know if she made a mistake, if she misread the situation, or if there's something she could have done differently. The more she thinks about it, the more invested she becomes in finding answers. Your absence amplifies your value as. She digs deeper. She starts to see things she might have ignored before. Your kindness, your consistency, the way you made her feel special. Your absence creates a space where these positive traits become amplified in her mind. It's as if your silence has turned the volume up on everything she took for granted. The beauty of this phase is that you don't have to do anything. Her mind is doing all the work for you. The more curious she becomes, the more she realizes what she stands to lose. For the role of ego is a powerful force in any relationship. It's tied to our sense of identity, our need for validation, and our desire for control. When that control is threatened, the ego reacts defensively. Her ego takes a hit, realizing that you're no longer as interested as you once were, forces her to confront a version of herself she might not want to see. The ego thrives on validation and certainty. When you're attentive and emotionally available, it reinforces her sense of importance. But when you pull back, that reinforcement disappears. This creates an inner conflict. She starts questioning whether she misjudged her influence over you, if she thought she had the upper hand. Your withdrawal forces her to reconsider. Ego-driven reactions. Her ego might lead her to act out, provoking you with indirect comments, trying to make you jealous, or acting overly confident to mask her insecurity. She might post pictures with other people, talk about how busy she is, or drop hints about new admirers. But these are just defense mechanisms. Stay steady. The key here is to remain steady. Don't let her ego-driven reactions pull you back into old dynamics. Your calm and composed demeanor will do more to unsettle her than any reactive behavior ever could. Over time, her ego will take a back seat to her emotions. And that's when real reflection begins. 5. The turning point. Feeling the void. Silence is often underestimated, but its impact becomes undeniable when she starts to feel the void you've left behind. This isn't just about missing your presence. It's about the absence of everything you brought to the relationship: your attention, your energy, your consistency. The weight of your absence. At first, she might brush it off, thinking she can adjust to the new dynamic. But as days or weeks go by, the weight of your absence begins to settle in. She starts to notice the little things she took for granted: the way you made her laugh, the way you listened, the stability you provided. These realizations come in waves, and each wave hits harder than the last. The void isn't just emotional, it's psychological. She starts to question whether she underestimated your value and whether losing your interest is a reflection of something she did wrong. Let her feel it. Your role during this phase is simple: do nothing. Let her feel the full weight of the void. Let her wonder and reflect. The longer she sits with these feelings, the more significant your absence becomes in her mind. 6. Why silence amplifies your value. Silence is often misunderstood. It's not about ignoring her or playing games. It's about creating space for her to reflect on what you brought to her life. The power of unexpected silence when you go silent. You remove the constant reassurance she might have grown accustomed to. This sudden absence forces her to reconsider your value. And that's where the magic happens. Most people, when faced with disappointment or frustration, try to explain themselves, seek closure, or fight for attention. By stepping back and staying silent, you send a message without uttering a word. I don't need to prove my worth to you. My actions speak for themselves. Your presence grows in your absence as time passes. Your silence begins to amplify your presence in her mind. She starts replaying past interactions, noticing the things she may have overlooked: your kindness, your consistency, the way you made her feel special. These positive traits become magnified in your absence because there's no noise to distract her from the void you've left. She questions herself. Silence also gives her time to question herself. She might wonder, why hasn't he reached out? Is he really moving on? Did I underestimate him? These questions don't just create curiosity, they create a sense of urgency. The longer you remain silent, the more significant your presence becomes. And the more she realizes just how much she misses having you around. 7. The emotional tension builds as your silence stretches on. It creates a unique form of emotional tension. This tension isn't just about missing you. It's about the unresolved feelings and questions swirling in her mind. The uncertainty of where you stand becomes a driving force behind her thoughts, keeping you firmly in her head. Disrupting her stability. Emotional tension is powerful because it disrupts her sense of stability. She might have believed that she had control over the situation, but your withdrawal shatters that illusion. This loss of control triggers a mix of emotions: regret for not appreciating you, curiosity about what you're doing now, and even guilt for possibly taking you for granted. Everything reminds her of youth. Tension also heightens her awareness of everything that reminds her of you. A song, a familiar place, or even a random conversation can bring back memories of the connection you shared. Each reminder deepens the emotional pull, making her think about you more and more. 8. When curiosity turns into action. Curiosity has a way of driving people to take action. Once the emotional tension reaches its peak, she'll feel an overwhelming need to bridge the gap. At first, her actions might be subtle, liking your social media posts, sending casual texts, or finding excuses to initiate contact. But as her curiosity grows, her efforts to reconnect become more deliberate. She reaches out when she reaches out. It's a sign that she's been thinking about you constantly. She's likely spent days or weeks analyzing her feelings, replaying past interactions, and questioning what went wrong. This process of reflection often leads to a realization. Losing you might have been a bigger mistake than she initially thought. How you respond matters. How you respond to her actions is critical. This is your opportunity to show that you've grown and moved forward. Keep your responses calm, confident, and slightly detached. For example, if she texts you, avoid jumping into deep conversations right away. Instead, keep it light and casual, showing her that while you're open to reconnecting, you're not desperate for her attention. This balance of confidence and detachment makes her see you in a new light. It reinforces the idea that you're someone worth pursuing, not someone who can be easily swayed. By maintaining your composure, you shift the power dynamic in your favor, making her realize that winning you back won't be as simple as she might have hoped. 9. Emotional control wins every time. Emotional control is one of the most attractive qualities you can have, and it becomes even more apparent when she tries to reconnect. When she reaches out, she might test your patience or provoke emotional reactions to gauge your level of interest. How you handle these moments defines how she perceives you moving forward. Don't take the bad. Imagine she brings up past arguments or tries to get a reaction by mentioning other people. If you respond with anger or frustration, it shows her that you're still emotionally tied to her actions. But if you remain calm and unbothered, it communicates strength and confidence. It tells her that while you care, you're not controlled by her behavior. Master your emotions. Emotional control isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about mastering them. It's about showing that you can handle disappointment, rejection, or conflict with grace and maturity. This kind of stability is rare and highly attractive because it creates a sense of security. She knows that no matter what happens, you won't be easily shaken. Independence is attractive. The beauty of emotional control is that it shifts the focus back to you. Instead of chasing her or reacting to her tests, you're showing her that your life and happiness don't revolve around her. This independence makes you stand out and leaves a lasting impression that's hard to ignore. 10. The power of moving on gracefully. One of the most impactful things you can do is move on gracefully. This doesn't mean cutting her off completely or acting like you don't care. It means showing her that you're confident enough to prioritize your own growth and happiness. Self-respect is key when you move on gracefully. You send a clear message. I value myself too much to stay in a situation that doesn't align with my standards. This level of self-respect is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're not afraid to walk away from what doesn't serve you. It also leaves her questioning her own choices and behavior. Focus on yourself. Graceful detachment isn't about playing games or seeking revenge. It's about focusing on yourself. It's about investing your energy into things that make you happy and fulfilled. Your career, hobbies, personal development, and relationships with friends and family. She notices when she sees you thriving. Without her, it creates a sense of intrigue and admiration. The lasting impression you leave by moving on gracefully is powerful. She'll remember how you handled the situation with dignity and maturity, and it will make her realize what she had lost. Over time, this realization often leads to regret and the desire to reconnect. But by then, you'll be in a position of strength, deciding whether she's truly worth your time and energy. Conclusion: understanding what happens when a woman realizes you've lost interest is about more than just relationship dynamics. It's about self-mastery, emotional intelligence, and personal growth. By recognizing the stages she goes through: shock, the need for validation; curiosity, ego, feeling the void; the power of silence, emotional tension; curiosity turning into action, emotional control; and moving on gracefully, you gain a powerful edge. You learn that your value isn't determined by someone else's attention or approval. You realize that the most attractive thing you can do is to respect yourself, maintain your composure, and focus on your own growth. When you do this, you not only shift the dynamic in your favor, but you also become the kind of person who naturally attracts respect, admiration, and genuine connection. If you found value in this, take a moment to reflect on your own relationships. Where can you apply these principles? How can you use silence, emotional control, and self-respect to create healthier, more balanced connections? Thank you for reading. If this resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective and experiences. And if you want more insights like this, be sure to subscribe for future updates. See you in the next one.